So without further ado, let's take a look to our first show. Justice League, released in 2001, is about our beloved heroes forming the most elite team. You've got the greats and the villains based on the comics themselves. It had what it delivered: the action, the thrilling adventures, and of course, its serious storyline. Not to mention the most epic theme song that you'll ever hear on an animated series. The show went on for 2 seasons until Warner Bros. Decided to do Unlimited, which isn't the 3rd season of the series. However, it does continue from where we left off in the last show. Only this time, the 7 heroes meet up with the new characters, which previously appeared in the comics but never portrayed in the DC animated series, and most of the villains of course made guest appearances on both shows. I could speak a lot about Justice League, but be best not to spoil it here. On the other hand, I could conclude that they were classic shows then and they're still classic shows now. Moving on, we go on to the next show. Teen Titans is no doubt one of the best animated shows to ever be shown on Toonami, but why is it the best? Simply for the fact that it's got kick-ass action, well-developed characters, and of course the highly styled anime influence. Based on the lineup from the new Teen Titans comics, these guys were always there when you needed them. The show centers on sidekick turned leader Robin, and he doesn't live alone. He lives with other adolescent heroes: Starfire from the planet Tamaran, Beast Boy who can change pretty much any animal, Cyborg who's half human half robot, and Raven, a character so cynical that she can mind control anything within a snap. As for other characters, we've got Slade, a must villain the Titans regularly fought with, Terra, a character who has abilities of an earthbender, and Aqualad, along with his Titan Z's crew. These memorable characters and its timeless setting is what made this program work. During its show run, Teen Titans went on to receive 3 Annie Animation Awards, and it really deserved all 3. On top of that, the series actually blended comedy, drama and action all at once. It knows exactly what it's doing and clearly delivers the whole elements in every episode. A shame it got cancelled, considering that the original series is what made it unique and enjoyable, and that's why I love this show so much, as it was different. With its clever writing and the use of life lessons, nothing could possibly ruin such a great show. Until that abomination showed up. If you want to see it, find it and check it out. Just don't watch Teen Titans Go! Meanwhile in the UK, Toonami was undergoing some new changes. Changes that affected most of its original programming. What did they do to it? The network that owned the channel decided it would be a good idea for Toonami to have live action. And these changes upset its viewers, which caused the channel to close down, but we'll get on that later. How did the new look of Toonami came to be? In the beginning of 2006, all was doing well on Toonami UK until the network announced it would have a brand new lineup. When this lineup revealed the inclusion of live-action programs, viewers were enraged and shocked, now realizing that this was a closed chapter of a beloved channel that did pretty well in the ratings for 3 years. On March 6, 2006 was the sad day for viewers. Toonami had changed its identity and had now become a completely different channel.
The Batman begins another brand new adventure next, right here on Toonami.
It did however earn brand new shows like The Batman, but the live action not filling half the usual favourite time slots didn't quite get along well with viewers. Many found it as another entertainment outlet to compete with the likes of Nickelodeon and Disney Channel. Some might be wondering, what were the viewer reactions like? The answer is quite simple. They were really pissed off with this new Toonami. And while we're on the subject, I've got some photos of several different angry mobs that sum up the viewers' actual feelings when they saw the new Toonami. So, what were the viewers' solutions? The best way was either they stay away from the live action or record their favourite programs during the late night time slot. Following the fans' criticism regarding Toonami's new look, the channel decided to remove the live action shows months later, whilst keeping the good shows that they should have aired in the first place. And to make matters worse, Toonami had more programming changes and new additions that not all fans were quite pleased with. The 10th year had finally reached its goal on March 2007. Unknown to viewers, the 3rd tom was pulled off the screen without any announcement, and to celebrate, Toonami decided to give the presenter a new look. What the fuck was with that look? He looks like Thomas the Tank Engine if he was spat out to be a mechanical transformer, and to make things worse, he's now paired with other robots.
The best action show around will be right back. That's Naruto if you're new.
And yes, this was one of the most controversial points of the Toonami block. Tom 4 having a face. How can you watch Dragon Ball Z with that face? The block aired mostly reruns of the same stuff. from Dragon Ball Z to Newcomer Naruto, up to a point where the final schedule of Toonami was reduced for 2 hours. How could everybody forget the demise of Toonami UK that happened in 2007? Turner Europe decided to cease Toonami's transmission when Cartoon Network 2 finally decided it wanted to run 24 hours a day, as Cartoon Network 2 used to run from 3 in the morning till 7 in the evening, and a particular programming block that aired on the same channel was about to take Toonami's place. On May 24, 2007, Toonami became Cartoonito, and that was the last time you've seen or heard about Toonami UK. Most of Toonami's programs had merged with Cartoon Network 2. Before the close down happened, Toonami warned viewers that most of its programs will be shifted to Cartoon Network 2. As soon as the day came, it disappeared, and Toonami UK was never heard of ever again. By the time the American Toonami had redesigned its presenter with the inclusion of co-hosts, they wanted to cater Toonami now for a younger audience. That was where long-time viewers drew the line. But on September 20, 2008, Toonami was cancelled, leaving the current incarnation of Tom saying out his final message.
Well, this is the end, beautiful friends. After more than 11 years, this is Toonami's final broadcast. It's been a lot of fun, and we'd like to thank each and every one of you who've made this journey with us. Toonami wouldn't have been anything without you. Hopefully, we've left you with some good memories. So, until we meet again, stay gold. Bang.
A truly sad time for anime fans. Many people tried to bring Toonami back on YouTube channels, websites, petitions, you name it, any kind of medium. We haven't heard much about Toonami until 4 years later, Cartoon Network's sister block Adult Swim got their attention. On the midnight of April 4, 2012, Adult Swim pranked viewers with the usual screening of The Room. But guess who happens to be in the next scene?
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Oh, hi, Adult Swim. I got the results of the test back. I definitely have April Fools.
For the first time in 4 years, Adult Swim started to re-air the classic shows from Toonami only for that epic night. As a guy on Twitter once said, this was the night that no 90s kid ever slept. The return of Toonami and April Fools was so successful that Adult Swim responded to Twitter that Toonami will return soon. And on that miraculous day of May 23, 2012, Toonami was back on Adult Swim this time, using the third design of Tom with bumpers created and used originally in the mid-2000s. Times have surely changed, and a whole bucket of new shows ready to be aired, like Bleach, Casher and Sims, the Full Metal Alchemist series, and even the classic shows that helped popularize Toonami in the 90s, not to mention the new motivational speeches made by the presenter himself. So how do we end this tale? Well, Toonami certainly had its ups and downs, but we will certainly not forget the programs that they delivered. And as I said earlier, it truly did form the Western anime scene. Anime is something to be recognized in America, and that's what they did when they first started this block. It's an art form that inspired countless filmmakers to create their own style. The block had certainly left impact for viewers, and will continue to do so for generations to come.